What is your thoughts on polyamory? Would you do it?
I'm not against it at all. I'm open to it.
Okay, well, I'm not going to play this game.
I want to bring another person into our relationship.
Oh my God. All right, so we got a list of... So we got Onlyfans questions. We got some Reddit stuff. What is your update?
I was sick a couple months ago and started seeing a doctor. She had a bunch of blood work done on me. The results came back and there's like some weird kidney thing going on with me. I'm like, all my numbers look great otherwise, but my kidneys are being funny. She basically made it sound like I could either be dehydrated or I have like kidney disease. So we have to do a bunch more testing on that to see if I'm dehydrated or I have an actual problem. The hard part with that is that I get really stressed out by stuff like that. And so I have had a hard time with work this week because I get a little cuckoo from anxiety with this stuff. And so I have like my tasks and stuff that I know that I need to do, but I get distracted, I guess, and then it fucks everything up for me.
Well, yeah, so that kind of leads into this first Reddit post. So I'll read it. So this person says, how do you think fans would react if I decided to schedule a week off every month for my mental health? Is the title. And then definitely not successful enough at this point that it would be detrimental to take a break, but I can already see the burnout potential, especially as someone that still works full time. I'm thinking of just letting it be known that I take a week every month. I'm hoping that setting this expectation will help my subscribers know what to expect and prevent me from burning out and quitting altogether. A little helpful context. I have a free page with pay-per-view, a $10 per month paid page with more loyal subscribers that pay for sexting, explicit content, custom content, etc. What do y'all think?
I love this post because I've been a victim of myself with not just making space for stuff like this. Like, there are people who in seasons of their life don't have any interruptions and they can kind of just put their heads down for 6 months or a year or whatever and bang out content and just grind the business and make a ton of money. And that's amazing. I wish that for everyone, obviously. But for myself, especially the last like 6 months, holy shit. I wish that I had known that I was going to need to take time. Like, I got sick and then my grandma passed away and then I got sick again and then I got sick again. And it was just like taking a hit. Like, I felt like I would come back to work and then barely start trying to recover and then just get like knocked on my ass again. And so her question is, how do you think fans would react if I decided to schedule in a week off every month for my mental health? I think this is a brilliant idea.
Well, you kind of just do that anyway, like multiple times per month.
Well, I do. I should and could structure it properly, like we've talked about, because I have really bad, like, I guess they call it PMDD, like premenstrual whatever. I get really fucking moody. I can't function. It's just facts. And then my period is really hard on me. And so I've joked about it and been like, I need to just be able to take this like 5 to 7 days off every month. And we've talked about it, but I've never like done it properly. But I need to, because if I did that, then yeah, I could schedule all my doctor's appointments and blah, blah, blah. You obviously can't help like when you get actually sick, but like it does help knowing the other 3 weeks of the month. Okay, you need to make enough content to cover your ass for taking a week off, and then it just puts you that much ahead. Like, you should always be making too much content anyways, a little bit.
Well, yeah, and I think that the thing that people need to realize is that, like, nobody gives a shit that much. Like, everybody is under the impression that, like, everybody else is so concerned with what you're doing or not doing, or if you're online or not online. Yeah, you're going to get people that are going to be like, oh, where have you been? Blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, nobody gives a shit about what you're doing.
So I have taken a leave. Like, when my grandma passed away a couple months ago, I was offline for probably a good, like, 10 days or something. And I had a couple of just, like, assholes that were just like, you're never here, this is boring, or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And of course I was just like,
Well, the thing you have to realize is, like, most of these guys are subscribed to, like, you know, many, many, many other girls. So if you're not there to entertain them, well, guess what? They have 20 other girls that they're, you know, talking to and whatever. So you don't have to feel like you need to babysit these people. Okay. So this one, this one might be funny. So this creator's basically just asking how to handle this situation, which this one's not really that. We see this kind of stuff all the time. But basically, this is the type of person that comes in. Everyone gets them, where they come in and then they don't spend any money, and they just think that they're like God's gift to you. And then like, you offer a piece of pay-per-view, they don't buy it, and they're like, oh baby, but I eat pussy so good, you'd be paying me for it. like those kind of, like, bro, I've seen 2,000 versions of you that, like, stop it, just stop. So the question is, for you, what would be your top 5 icks when, like, guys come in and they start being some kind of way? What are, like, the top 5 things that you're like, oh my God?
3 things I would say that just, like, smacked me in the brain when you said that. Was the first one was unsolicited dick pics are always not appreciated. Don't do that. Secondly, when you come in assuming that I'm going to be open to having a date with you or something of that nature, like assuming like that it's hookup culture and that I'm just, like, there to fuck everyone that subscribes. Like, I don't know where that fucking idea comes from.
Yeah, but a lot of people are confused that, like, OnlyFans is the same as Tinder and it's like a dating app. It's not a dating app. It's like, for any fans watching this, like, OnlyFans is the equivalent of, like, a strip club. You don't go to a strip club to find a date. You go there to be entertained, and that's what OnlyFans is. But a lot of guys think it's like Tinder. They come in and they just assume you're trying to go meet up with them immediately. It's like, come on.
Yeah. And then, of course, I've run into this man 100 times. And then, like, I start chatting this guy up and then, you know, send him, like, a piece of content to unlock. And then he's like, you never said anything about paying for anything. And I was like, bro.
Oh, yeah, the ones that get really offended when you offer content.
Yeah, and then he's like, and now I'm just sitting here all hard. And I'm like, that sounds like a you problem, bro.
All right, so that's 3. So you got 2 more.
No, I think I gave like 4 or 5.
Did you?
Dating, assuming it's a dating app, unsolicited dick pics, acting like you don't know that you have to fucking pay for things.
I guess that's really all there is. Like, other than that, it's...
Well, it's obviously the creators trying to pitch me on making content with them.
Yeah,
the creators.
If you're a guy out there, you're basically... well, maybe we shouldn't even give this away because then everyone will start doing it. But basically, if you're a guy and you go out there and you set up an OnlyFans account, but instead of just setting up a regular account, you set yourself up as a creator for the purpose of collabing with other creators because you think that's going to, like, give you a chance to hook up with them or whatever. that's super cringy. Don't be that guy. Yeah, so that's, I think those are kind of like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
What is the proper way to be? Like if a guy subscribes to you, like what are the ones that you're like, oh, this is like the best type of fan?
Someone who comes in and talks to me like a human, not like, are you going to be my bitch tonight type of thing. Some pages are set up for that type of thing, but like for me personally, I like when people like speak to me respectfully. I'm not ever like mean to people, so I wouldn't expect you to step into my house and talk to me like I'm shit.
But at least like feel it out first. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Get in there and kind of feel what the vibe is and then go from there. But like, yeah, some guys will just come in and be like, little bitch, I want you. Da, 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 da.
Well, and I have the way of, having communication where I'm feeling them out and I'm kind of like, hey, what are you into type of thing. And if you tell me that you want me to dom you, then we can play that. But like, don't come in, assuming that I'm going to want you to, like, that we're going to play like that. Like, let's just establish that we're both humans first. And then also the ones that are extremely chatty, like some people like to talk a little bit more about just normal shit. And that's totally fine. But you have to understand that the creator you're talking to is giving you her time. And so it is appropriate to tip a little bit throughout the conversation if you're keeping her. She'll stay there and talk to you, but you should kick her a few bucks every few minutes.
Yeah, just for any guy watching this who subscribes to OnlyFans models, just always think about it like you're going to a strip club. And if you're going to chat to one of the girls in the club, she's there for a reason. You know what the reason is. So just let it be what it is and realize that you're paying for that amount of time to be, entertained. So
yeah.
All right. So this one, yeah, you can.
Okay. So this one I thought was just an interesting little debate that I saw on Reddit. It's from Am I the Asshole? And this one is, am I the asshole for divorcing my wife for bringing up an open relationship? My wife jokingly brought up open relationship. I asked her whether she wants to have sex with other men. She said she has thought about it. I had thought about having sex with other women too. I think it's natural, but I think that should be limited to fantasy. I asked whether she had specific person in mind. I saw the look in her eyes of shame. She said no, but she did find a man attractive and thought about polyamory. She promised that she would never pursue him. I told her she is free to have sex with that specific person. I am leaving her. Just don't bring that creep near our kids. What I am not telling her is that I snooped in her phone and she's been reading polyamory blogs, so I already decided to divorce her. She is shocked by my swift decision, which she doesn't know it's 3 weeks in the making, and she wants to talk. I don't want to talk. I want the divorce to be over with so I can leave her. She's not able to process how fast it happened. I guess I could be the asshole for hiding the whole truth, but I think it's a small punishment for destroying the marriage. She wouldn't know what hit her, and I think she deserves it. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a can of worms right there.
So, do you want to give your take first?
Well, my take is first, was this actually the reason for divorce, or is he using this as the scapegoat to justify that he doesn't want to be in the relationship? So
yeah,
it almost sounds like he was just looking for an excuse,
a way to jump ship.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's no different than like if you're you and I are in a relationship and then I discover that I'm actually gay, and then like that's not something that I can help, but you're doing this to us, you're destroying the relationship, it's like I mean, yes, but it's not like that's just, I can't help that. So the fact that she's into polyamory, or at least curious about it, doesn't make her a villain. And the fact that he's like just instantly closed off about it and turning her into a villain for that is not right, I don't think.
Yeah. So my first comments about this would be, I think, firstly, I understand his position about, I agree it's natural to find other people outside of your spouse attractive. A lot of people like have a really big problem. Like if your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever is like says that another person's hot or something. I've been in relationships with people like that many moons ago, and that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if it came with age or whatever, that I just don't see things like that anymore. But he seems open to that. Okay, I think it's natural to find other people attractive, but I think it should be limited to fantasy. She's also jokingly asking about this, but it sounds like she was like, let me just see how he feels about this. And then he's just kind of like, this is blasphemous. Is there someone that you're thinking about? And then because of his reaction, she's like, no. And then, oh, okay, yeah, there's this one person. And then he says, I told her she's free to have sex with this one person or I'm leaving her. Just don't bring him around our kids. What I'm not telling her is I snooped on her phone and she's been looking at polyamory blogs. So what? You fucking told her that she could fuck someone else. Like, she wants to understand how this stuff works. If it's new to you, you should educate yourself. So that excuse is stupid to me. And then the way that he's kind of just bragging, like, she's so shocked by my swift decision. She's not able to process how fast this happened. Yeah, because you fucking told her it was okay. And then you got mad because she was looking at a blog.
Wow, there's 3.9 comments on this. Let's see what some of the comments say. What really surprises me is how quickly people just ditch each other in other and committed relationships for thinking about things or for trying to talk about things they've thought of or felt. People are allowed to abandon relationships for any reason, of course, but a lot of the stuff I read here shows poor character and worse communication skills.
Okay, yes. So that's my thing. Number one key to a relationship, in my opinion, is communication. So if you came to me and you were like, I've been thinking about this thing. I want to bring another person into our relationship or whatever. If I hadn't already thought about that, I'd be like, it might be shocking to me. You know, some partners are, you and I in real life, I would not be shocked by that. But like, if I was the type of person that was not open-minded to those things, I would maybe be shocked. But you have a responsibility as the partner, the married partner to this person or in a committed relationship to, you know, their needs and desires are for you to take into account, that they should be important. And then if it's something that just completely doesn't align with you, I can see, you know, maybe it wouldn't work out, but there needs to be so much fucking communication happening about that. And the fact that you're like, I saw her looking at blogs and I just ended it right there. And I'm like, sir, are you having an affair or what? Like, why are you jumping ship so fast? That's fucking weird. But speaking of this, so there was this show that we watched this last week that I was fucking obsessed with. I think they need to make more shows like this. It had me hooked. I was watching it every single day. I pounded through this fucking show in like how many days? 4 days or something. It's on Peacock and it's called Couple to Thruple. And it's basically a game show, like a reality show where they had all these different couples. So I think a
Wait,
couple.
is this the trailer? Oh yeah, trailer. All right, let me just play the
You
trailer.
were given the chance at non-monogamy in paradise. What would you do? I'm Scott Evans, and I will be your guide on a journey for love unlike you've ever seen before. For the next month, 4 curious couples will be given the unique opportunity to turn that fantasy into a reality.
I've never been on a date with 3 people. You know what I'm saying?
Me either.
I'm bisexual, and he's more of a don't knock it till you try sexual.
Yeah.
Is kind of like our first time dating as a couple.
You make a good team. Let's go. Every few days, they'll
So yeah.
Anyway, so there's all these couples, and then they basically they're all either curious about non-monogamy or have already experienced it and are looking for like a new partner. And so they bring all these singles in and then give them a chance to date them basically. And then they like have these little trial runs with them, and then they're able to like swap them out and bring someone different in. And then at the end, they decide whether they want to leave the island. I don't think it's an island, but they want to leave the show as a thruple instead of a couple. And I loved that Peacock is bringing this out into normal television and, you know, showing people that this is like, because this is really a lot more common than you think. But I loved seeing it. I loved like that it felt like a normal show, you know, that it wasn't like just that it was being talked about. I thought it was awesome. And then it was just like any other dating show, you know, you get to meet all the characters and there's like villains and this and that.
The comment section is like the comment section of an Onlyfans creator with a bunch of red pill people.
Really? Maybe I'm the
Yes.
only person that loved it. I fucking loved that show. I wish there were more seasons. I would watch all of them right now.
Well, they're just making comments based on the trailer, but yeah, it's just a bunch
Yeah,
of
look,
like,
we need more LGBT plus characters and stories. That's where I am. I think it's great to have this, you know, we want to see television like this. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you're into just seeing something fucking different, or if you're curious about polyamory, I loved seeing it. I thought it was cool.
By the way, if you want to join us in the OnlyFans Level Up community, that is where I share all of my best secrets and strategies for OnlyFans creators, many of which are hitting really big numbers, as you may have seen from various guests on this podcast. But either way, it's a great place to be if you want to network or learn all of the best secrets and strategies to grow your OnlyFans account. You can find all of that information with the link down in the description below. But for now, back to the podcast.
Okay, so this one, the poster of this, oh my gosh, he deleted it completely. Okay, so I'll try to just give a rundown on this. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that I do not owe her anything for sex? This post was a man who was explaining that he works from home and then his wife is a stay-at-home mom. They have a couple kids. I don't know how old, but she takes care of the house and the kids, and then he works during the day. And then I don't remember the whole story, but it was the issue at hand was she was saying if he does chores, then she owes him sex. But if he doesn't help around the house and do chores, then she doesn't owe him anything. And there were people in the comments that were like, you work during the day, she takes care of the house, whatever. And that's one issue. But the other issue was that she was making sex transactional. And that was kind of my thought. Like, it shouldn't be like tit for tat
Or just
type
like
of thing.
using it as leverage over him.
Yeah, I just didn't like that. That is an interesting dynamic. You're both technically home, but she's taking care of the kids and then you're working. And so she feels like you should be helping with the chores or whatever. and then you feel like she should be taking care of the chores because she's not working. But I mean, anyone who has kids knows if you're home with them 24 hours a day, that's a fucking job. And in my opinion, the chores should be split.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, like if it was me, what would happen is I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to play this game. And then I just wouldn't. But then she would be like, he never gives me affection. And then she would go cheat on him. And it's like...
Yeah, so it would have to be where he puts his foot down and he's just like, babe, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, let's make it make sense. I'm happy to help with the chores, but sex should be sex and mutual. You're not fucking doing me any favors.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's not happy in her position in the house either. Like, if you feel like your partner owes you anything, there's a little bit of a misbalance happening there, in my opinion. And that's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. Okay. So this was some questions in the OnlyFans Level Up group, which, by the way, if you want to check out the OnlyFans Level Up group, I'll have a link for that down below. So this comes from Aspen Rose, which she's just subscribed to the Telegram. Question number 1, she says, what to expect as a rookie joining OnlyFans, which I haven't even read these questions yet, so I don't know what they are, but what to expect as a rookie joining OnlyFans. You could ask Cierra the weirdest, strangest, funniest thing she's been asked to do for customs, if she went ahead and did some of them, and if not, how she let them down nicely. How do you deal with bullies? That's a pretty good question.
I had a really strange one recently. I can't remember what it was now, but...
Well, because you don't even really do customs that much. Like,
no, I used
rare.
to do customs more when I first started, just because I've been sick and stuff the last few months. I haven't done many customs at all. So I am, I do have to let them down nicely, and I do always. I'm just honest with them, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not taking customs right now. If they say that they want something that I'm not into, I'm really good about just saying, I haven't really ever done that. I'm not comfortable. Like, I don't think that I could make the best, just whatever random shit they're asking for. Like, I've never done that, so I don't think I could make you the best video. And I wouldn't feel comfortable taking money for that.
Well, I'll just add my own bit onto this because it does come up from other people, which is like, what do you do if you're in a situation where you don't have that many fans, you're not making that much money, so you're kind of like dependent on customs because they can be pretty profitable.
Which I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
I did a lot, yeah.
So like, what do you do when you are not comfortable, or they ask you to do something you're not comfortable doing, but you're not making enough money to where like you feel like you have to do it because you need the money?
Come to a compromise. Like, I recently had a conversation with a guy where he wanted like this and that and this and that. And I was like, oh, I've never done this. And then he's like, okay, well, would you be open to doing all of it without that? And so if I was in the position to do it, I would do it, because he's taking into consideration that I wasn't comfortable with X, and he still wants to pay me for the video. So, that would be kind of my suggestion. Like, see if there's a compromise that can be made, but also always make sure that there's 2 arrangements to be made with customs. You either need to make sure that they're okay with you reselling the content. And if they're not, they want it to be exclusive to them, then you need to make sure you price it accordingly to where it's worth your time.
Yeah. In other words, if you can get a lot of value out of one video, if you're able to resell it or send it in a mass DM or put it on your wall or whatever, but if they're telling you to do things in such a way that it wouldn't be sellable in any other context outside of that one custom video, then you need to charge appropriately for that, because that's the only chance you're going to have to make money with that video.
Right, but typically these go like, I want to see you do this, that, or whatever. and say my name. And so then you'll make the video, say their name. They'll agree that it's okay for you to resell it. You'll cut that 3 times you said their name, that's 3 seconds long, out. Edit that out and resell that on your, as PPV or on your free page or whatever.
And just like realize that there's so many different skills that are all intertwined with OnlyFans. When we were talking to Abby last week on the pod, and she was talking about like when she first started dancing in the club, and she realized like, oh, this isn't a dancing job, this is a sales job. And that's what you have to realize with OnlyFans too. Like, it's not a content job necessarily, it's a sales job. Like you have to learn all the various skills related to creating content, but not just that, learn how to sell, learn how to negotiate, learn how to do all of these different pieces that are involved, because that really is the main piece of the job, is learning, sales psychology and how to negotiate, because everything's up for negotiation inside of OnlyFans. So that's an important skill to learn. Okay, you could go into greater detail and help people discover their brand niche. I see a lot of chicks that are in that vague open category that doesn't do anything for them because they are competing against a huge majority of other women that choose to keep it vague, including myself. I literally just chose mine. It took me a long time because I'm indecisive. It's a big deal. You want it to be natural and something you love and enjoy and can be incorporated into your content, something healthy too. If your vibe is a party girl, well, that would just suck. We all know that that's not healthy, but if you choose to be an adventure buddy, that's going to help you get outside more often, blah, blah. So you could be petite, cute, blonde, like millions of other cute blondes out there, or you could be a petite painter because they can see you're cute and blonde, and that's no secret. But something like painting your body or painting your walls in the nude, it's going to attract a huge amount of dude artists, dudes in trades, dudes looking to cover their walls in their new bachelor pad. I don't know. So yes, you should definitely go into a category. The question is, what do you do because you're kind of in that broad category too, but you kind of segment down into like a finer segment within that, which like for you is like the dresses and the, so there's like a small subset of content that works really well for you within that broad type of content. Mm-hmm. But what would you say to people who don't they're kind of just doing the same thing that everybody does. They're just trying to look cute on social media, but it's just super broad. There's nothing specific that they're doing. And it's just, they're not getting views or whatever.
Yeah, I think that the suggestion that she makes is smart. That is what you want to do. You want to find just what's kind of something that you actually enjoy, that, if you're presenting yourself to the world on social media, that, people will be drawn to your delight in whatever it is that you're doing. And that's attractive to people. I wouldn't suggest going out and yes and no, find something. Because if you're looking for something and it's just completely unnatural, but at the same time, yeah, some people have to try on a few different pairs of shoes before you find the one.
Yeah, the main thing is there's 2 ways to go about it. There's some creators that do really well just by looking cute, just by getting on there and, looking at the camera and giving it a wink. And that works really well for some people. But a lot of people that doesn't work, just that broad, just looking cute for the camera, that doesn't work for the large majority of people. And if you're one of those people that it doesn't work for, then, you're better off finding a specific category and being cute within a certain category, being cute within fishing, being cute within outdoorsy, being cute within fitness, being cute within whatever. Yeah, so this is one that I thought was good because this is something that you struggle with a lot. I'm gonna pop this one open. Okay, so the title is, I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop going on your phone to obsessively check work first thing in the morning. Okay, so the post says, before you even brush your teeth or get out of bed or eat breakfast, no matter what % you're at, this is only doing more harm than good. This kind of just general life advice too, but if you also have ADHD or other mental health issues, this is honestly so key in maintaining the stamina to do this thing long term. Whether you're top 40% or giving your brain something to despair about as soon as you wake up, or you're top 0.4% and you're giving your brain a dopamine hit that will not be able to match for the rest of the day, all of us need to properly regulate the work for our mental health, especially because so much of this job is on our phones. It can be easy to get sucked into our devices first thing and have a wrecked mental for the rest of the day. As someone with ADHD and has struggled with many mental health issues in the past, changing this habit has been life-changing for me. It's simple advice, but I'm sure a lot of us grab our phone right away and as soon as we regain consciousness, so stop it. Nowadays, I aim to get up, stretch, go for a walk, eat breakfast before I even think of checking my phone for work. It's done wonders for both my mental health and ability to work consistently. So this is something that I'm always on your ass about.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is really good advice. And I think probably most people would agree with this advice, yet most people will never, ever do it.
Yeah, I think most people are guilty of it.
So what is your advice to yourself, knowing that this is good advice, but not following it? What would be your advice to yourself to actually implement and follow through on something like this?
The advice would be simple. Have a plan for how you ideally want to spend your morning and set that up for yourself the night before to where, you can just get up, go to your little pile of clothes that you put on so that you can go take a walk or whatever it is you want to do first thing. So that there's no thought that needs to be had. You don't need to decide anything. You already decided it with your conscious mind the night prior. And so my excuse is I need to look at my phone to make sure that my son didn't text me or something. He doesn't need something. But I also sleep with my phone on do not disturb. So instead of opening my phone and looking unnecessarily at shit, if my son texts me, it shows up through the do not disturb. So there's actually no reason for me to open the phone. So, okay, bitch, pick up your phone, make sure he didn't text you and put it down. Go put your clothes on and go outside.